little turny. Hello, we are here with Mr. Justin. Please say your last name.
Justin Ngoga.
Ngoga. Did I say it correctly?
Yes.
Ngoga.
Yeah.
Literally, he is in the house with Reclaiming Our Identity. What's your name?
Keenan.
And I'm Janine. And like I said, Justin is in our house. I was telling him that I'm so honored and so privileged to have him here because I consider you the guru on Rwanda. You know what I noticed in your book? And we'll talk about the book later. I'm going to tell you why I think he's the guru. That you work with, or you provide your books as a resource for onboarding to international companies.
Yes.
That's incredible. And I have a friend who works in the government, and she mentioned to us that they include your book with all of their training.
Yes, yeah. One UN in Rwanda uses my book as part of like their welcome pack. So
I think that's
and that is almost 20 something organizations under the one UN UNCR, UNDP, all those organizations.
Yes. Okay. So let me show you a picture of the book. Our viewers have seen, I put a picture and the link and everything already on there, but just for those who may not have seen that in the community chat, that's what the book looks like that he's referring to. And then he just mentioned to me that there is another resource. If you go on his website, you can download this one for free. Moving to Rwanda. The unfortunate thing is my husband and I were not aware of these books before we moved here. And I think it would have made such a huge difference if we had, and as a matter of fact, I know it would have made a big difference if we had known about them before. So, Justin, I want you to be as brief or as detailed as you want when you're answering the questions. We want to make sure that we give the viewers a good amount of information, but save some of the goodies for the book. We want to whet the appetite, make sure that they get the book. I don't want to give it all away, but I do want to give a good amount of information because, like I said, the value of the topics that you cover in your book is immeasurable. And
thank you.
When you're moving when you're moving anywhere from state to state, city to city, there are challenges and difficulties that you're gonna, face. But I think moving intercontinentally brings a whole nother level of anxiety and stress.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I just want you to briefly introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and how you got into this space.
Fantastic. So as I said, my name is Justin Ngoga. I'm a Rwandan. Was born in Congo, but grew up in Rwanda. So I've been in Rwanda for the last almost 29 years.
Okay.
So I did all my education here. Then I started working with several organizations, including the Peace Corps, like VSO and gap year programs.
Okay.
And big organizations where I worked as capacity building, head of a training department, and with all that experience, then kind of realized the amount of culture shock that expatriates, were experiencing here in Rwanda, and there was no really a place to go to get proper cultural orientation to kind of prepare them for this culture.
It's great that you were tuned into that and you were astute enough to recognize that was an issue and an area that needed some assistance and needed to be covered.
So that's how I actually started thinking about it. I actually had the idea back in 2013, but I did start actively until 2018.
Can you check that and make sure? Okay. Well, that I'm glad you gave us. Because I wanted to know, how did you even get there? What took you there? So now I understand. You noticed that there was a gap. And when you say Rwandan, I noticed in the book, I believe it's in the foreword of the Moving to Rwanda, was your thought initially Rwandan diasporans, those who had left Rwanda, or were you thinking internationally?
To be honest, I was more thinking about internationally, like people who were either moving with families or coming to work.
Okay.
International staff. Because they would know nothing at all, as a cultural guide or day-to-day guide.
That's genius.
Yeah. So it's I need to do something. And then back in 2018, I sat down, but prior to writing the book, I started with homestays program, kind of giving people, opportunity to stay with one in the families, eat the food, kind of learn the culture in the home. And then with that program, I worked with, gap year programs.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, it's kind of funny. One of my biggest, clients, business, failed in the US, and he was the big source of my income. So then I had to, start thinking, developing more programs. So I sat down and then wrote the Rwanda Cultural Awareness book. It took me like almost 4 months to put together everything and then publish it. And then with that Rwanda Cultural Awareness book, I started doing like a 2-hour cultural awareness training. Basically to tell, international staff who will just come to Rwanda, like the basics of Rwandan culture, mannerisms and behaviors, from like greetings, like if everyone does this, what does it mean? It means respect. If they do this, what does it mean? It means their hand is dirty. What if everyone is not doing eye contact? Staring, So to kind of give you this kind of, clues and
staring. A lot of people mention the staring.
Yes.
My daughters were so taken aback by it when we first started.
Do you know how to break it now?
I just keep staring at them and smile.
Smile and say hi.
I do that too. I mean, I'm Southern. I'm from the southern region of the U.S. and it's very natural to us anyway to speak. So, and that's what I told my girls. I was like, just say hello. Yeah,
say hello and then they'll smile. It's nothing as rude or aggressive. It's just, this is new.
That's what I said. They're just looking because you're gorgeous. That's what a lot of people were telling them.
Great, yeah.
Well, that's good to know. And it's important that, I'm telling you all, if you move here or you come to visit, you think those things sound small, but they're impactful.
Well,
they're meaningful to
definitely.
everyday
When they
life.
accumulate, then they make big impact.
They do make big impact. Okay. All right, let's get to some questions. We have an understanding of what inspired you to start assisting people who are moving to Rwanda. Thank you for giving us that foundation. What would you say is the most important thing someone should know before they move?
So if you're moving to Rwanda, like moving with the family, you need to know like housing. You have to pay at least 4 months.
Okay.
Once.
Okay.
Then to be prepared, you need to bring a lot of cash with you.
Bring a lot of cash. Did you hear people? You heard it here.
Yeah.
Justin said, "Bring a lot of cash with you." Okay.
Yes, like put it in your bag. Because you need a lot of cash in your first few months. So
why so? Instead of trying to transfer it from bank to bank. Excuse me, honey. There's an extension cord in the line.
Yeah, transferring one, they will charge you a lot of money to transfer money. Two, like when you find a house that you like, the agreements that they will want you to
have it ready.
So, and transferring, it can take like a couple of days, 3, 4. If you have weekends, almost a week.
And then there's a time zone difference.
Yeah, time differences, and then you might lose the house.
Tell me about it. We lost a couple because of time.
Exactly.
Stay
talking about money. Don't bring small bills. They have very low exchange rate. So the 20s, 10, no.
20 is considered small?
Yes, it's still considered small.
I know people tell me don't bring 10 to 5.
Bring 50,
and
100.
Up.
Yes,
Okay. You said because the exchange
with the small bills is way less.
Okay.
Because we don't buy with dollars here, so we buy with local currency. So not many people want small bills here,
Okay.
So you just want $100, $50.
I understand. Okay. All right. The most important thing you said: bring a lot of cash with you.
Yes. Bring a lot of cash, and what's the other most important thing? I think make sure you have a connection on the ground.
On the ground.
A friend, and if you don't have a friend that has time for you, then Justin's here. Very
The buddy.
important. Yes.
Your Rwandan buddy.
The Rwandan buddy. And I think I would talk more about this. Some people, they don't realize they need a buddy until they
Get that.
yes, it's one of those things that you really need, but you don't know you need them until you are really struggling. And there's no point of learning it the hard way. You know?
That's good advice. Okay, all right. So, what are the common challenges that you have heard that expats face when they move to Rwanda?
One of I think I've already mentioned it, but I will kind of voiced it again. Most people, they underestimate the impact of cultural, differences. They just think, I'll be nice.
I can adjust.
I can adjust.
Adapt.
I will just be careful. No. So it's really important you just take your time, at least to take a cultural orientation, session, just 2 hours, and then get the basics. And then from that, at least you have a ground to start. And the other challenge is dealing with brokers and landlords.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's because most landlords won't speak English. And yes, some brokers will speak some English.
Yes.
But people don't know brokers are making money on both ends.
We didn't know that.
Yes.
We found that out later after. How do we find that out?
When we got this house.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah, right. He said, you can take care of this because I'm not going to do both. Yeah, gotcha.
So, and this is why you need a buddy, because a broker, the more you pay, the more he earns.
Yes. So if you have a high monthly rent amount, let's say it's 1,000, they're going to request about what percent?
Like 1 month rent.
50% of 1 month's
50%,
rent. Of 1 month's rent from you.
It depends
as
on how
the
much you
tenant.
pay. So if you pay 6 months, they will maybe need 1 month rent. So there's no.
They have different ones.
They have different kind of rents, and again, that's what makes it very hard, because most people be like, "Hey, tell me before what I'll pay you." I don't want to go into those kind of bargaining games when.
Yes, I want it set and established.
Yes, but they will not do that because they first want to introduce the houses and they like them, and then you're kind of trapped, and then.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Whatever it is, I'll pay. And then they'll tell you, yes, this is how, if you want me to negotiate this for you, then this is how much I'm requesting.
Yes, so that's really, really hard. And actually, that's the main reason that made me start the relocation buddy, program. Because with that, at least I bring in the, cultural, eye and understanding of the culture, and, to negotiate for you and be with you. Again, it's not only how much you pay, it's like understanding the neighborhood, making sure, it's what you really need. Because being new, a lot of things are,
yes, you may
happening.
not consider.
You might not consider small details, So you need someone as a brother or be with you.
I have a follow-up question to that. You said understanding the neighborhood. So we've moved into a house. This is our second house since we've been here. That does not have a street number. Notice?
See, yeah.
So can you please tell us who we speak to? We've been told that the owner of the home is the one that's responsible for making sure that the house gets a house sign with the address, the street number, and the house number. I've also been told that we can just go to the sector administrator. What is the Rwandan name for that person who's over the village?
Is it the village or the sector? Because the administrative structure, at least in Kigali, is the Kigali city, and then the district office, and then the sector office, and then the cell office, and then the village.
Right.
So the village, no. You'd only go to the village if you're thinking about going to Umuganda, the collective work that happens on Saturday, or if there's some like minor safety issues,
Okay.
like burglars, burglary,
Okay.
then you go there.
Okay.
But this not street number.
Okay.
So cell number no, sector you only go if you're getting married to a Rwandan.
Oh, really?
Just kidding,
Gotta go to the sector.
Yeah, or if you want a birth certificate and blah blah blah.
Okay,
those
so
kind
you
of
go to the
certificates.
sector office for that. So who do you go to if a
If
street
you-
sign
a
is out
street-
of place, or you need a traffic light, or you need a number on your
The
house?
street, the city of Kigali office,
Okay.
the city hall, administration
Okay.
deals with the street numbers.
Where is that?
It's in the Kigali city center.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where you would go, but
Mm-hmm.
not as a tenant.
Right.
I think
the owner has to do
the
that.
owner has to go
land.
and maybe go with the title and land
Mm.
title and then ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if they live out of the country, like a lot would notice that a lot of landlords and owners of homes here
Mhm.
have built home. They're not from here. They
Mhm.
live in Belgium. They live in Finland. They live in UK.
Which
or
makes
US.
it even harder if you want something fixed in the house, and if they're not
Unless
here.
they have a local person responsible.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then we just call her buddy. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so those are some common challenges that expats face.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that expats make when moving to Rwanda?
I think I would say I mentioned this earlier that it's not really considering the impact of cultural differences. They just think I'll be fine. I can do it myself. And the other thing is just when they don't have proper cultural orientation, they're not ready for the culture. They just remain in their culture, the expat bubble. So they just,
They do
leave
everything with expats.
expat, and the consequences of that, they live an expat life. They don't live local, so they miss out the reach of of the culture. They don't connect with the locals, so they can't buy local. I know some people who can't actually go to Nyamirambo market.
We love Nyamirambo Market.
I know
can
some
handle
experts
ourselves.
who avoid it.
Yeah, we do too. We do too.
You see,
Yeah,
because they're
nervous,
not ready. They didn't have.
uncomfortable.
They were not introduced to the community life, and so that's, I think, to me that's
A
big
disadvantage that they're.
mistake that you make. So, and again, it's another reason why I did this cultural orientation program, because one day I talked to a coworker, and he told me he has been in Rwanda for 3 years. He lived in Rwanda for 3 years, but I had never visited any Rwandan home. So I was like, "Are you living in Rwanda, or just traveling through?" See?
Good question.
See? Yeah. I think those are like the main, mistakes that I think they make, and not understanding the culture. Of course, that's a huge. Big statement. But if you go to details, for example, the bargaining. I know people who sometimes avoid buying from Rwandans because of the
They
bargaining.
don't want to have to negotiate.
Because they think people are trying to cheat them, and they forget that this is part of the culture. So, and then they start judging people as being dishonest or trying to, rip them up. So that's a mistake. That's a mistake. You should understand that it's part of the culture. We do it. We do that every day.
Yeah, very much so. Unless you go into a retail store where the price is already marked on
level,
something
yes.
specific, then yes, you can expect to negotiate pretty much everything for carpentry or anything. That takes us to our segue to our next question, which is a good one. How do you help people to overcome those cultural barriers?
Good
Just
question.
education.
It's they should start with my book. I keep posting on social media about my books as a starting point, and then sometimes I have like open public, open to public
The seminars.
sessions, on Rwanda cultural awareness, and then I know like a one time off. Training is not enough. I also have cultural mentorship sessions where you could just book me for a cup of coffee. We sit, talk, laugh about the experience.
Let me tell you, he tapped into a niche that's great.
Thank you.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah. Talk about it. And just you have a room to let it go.
Yeah. Oh, so you sit and let somebody just vent?
Yes.
Like just
and
why
just,
isn't that such
like,
and such?
Yeah, and just get angry and use whatever word you want to use to kind of let it go.
Therapy. Transitioning
it's
therapy.
really important and it's heavy. You don't just need just fake it. Sometimes you need to talk about it.
That's true.
And then after talking about it, then we see how we can laugh about it.
And move
And
on.
then
What steps and
move on
strategies we're gonna
and
do
think about some strategies to use. And
Yeah.
and I've done this.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That matters to me. That you say, listen, I get that it can be frustrating, and there are going to be things you all don't understand because you don't have the background or the education or experience to understand them because they're our culture, they're not yours. Come talk to me about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So can you give me just a few cultural nuances that are important for people to be aware of? You mentioned how the shaking of hands. Let me see if I can remember. See if I was a good student. You said if they approach this way versus this way, whether or not someone's looking you in your eyes versus looking down, or if they stare, and then like you said, the bargaining. Anything else that's very, very ingrained in Rwandan culture?
Yeah. So we are very reserved culture, not expressive. So what that means, we would from a young age we're told to contain our emotions.
Okay.
Either excitement or anger, so you should contain it.
Okay.
And actually, when you show a lot of emotions, people start thinking that you might be weak. You can't
People probably
manage.
look at me strange all the time then, because I'm a very
Yeah.
vibrant,
Like when you
outgoing,
speak
expressive-
loud, too much loud, they're like,
Too much.
what
Too
was
much.
that? It's too much.
Then I'm doing the most as far as Rwanda is
Is it?
concerned, okay?
Um,
I live doing the most.
And and when this goes to work and so it can be too much for Rwandans if you're banging tables and shout,
Yeah.
So we are very reserved.
And you
it's
expect
speaking.
other people to be.
Myself, no.
Okay,
But
okay.
other Rwandans who didn't have that, cross-cultural experience, then they think everyone should behave like them,
Yeah.
So that's one. And the not expressive, kind of behavior goes to even food. So we don't eat in public, in streets.
Notice.
You noticed. And that's why I think we don't have a lot of street food, because we don't eat in public. And
Why do you need fast food? You're going to be sitting at home.
Exactly.
Okay.
And another thing is when walking, we don't walk very fast. Like when crossing the road, you can comment, if you have you noticed?
Yes.
So yeah, and that is very much linked to this idea of maintaining your composure. Because when you're rushing, people will be like, wait,
What?
A respectable person should walk slow, speak slowly. Yeah, just
Okay.
don't
Be
Yeah.
measured and dignified and put together and all of those things. That take your time.
That's your English, I wish I had your English to say it, right. Yes.
Okay.
And people have asked me, hey Justin, why is it that people, when they're crossing the road, they go slowly, but when it's going to rain, they run?
That's a good question.
Yes.
They don't want to
And
get
I'm like, one, because we want to be measured, put together, so we don't run when we don't run when
Rush.
crossing the road, because that would look like you kind of scared, you coming from the bush, or you're
not
afraid.
dignified. It's not dignified
not
to
dignified.
rush.
Why should you run?
Okay.
But we care a lot about physical appearance. That's really, really important for Rwandans.
Okay.
Like the way they look,
Yeah,
clothing.
put together.
Yeah, the how how you dress. Let me just give you this kind of funny story. Whenever I go to church, not very often, but sometimes it happens. When I'm in a suit, black, white, tie, suit, I get front seat. The next Sunday when I go, in a shirt, I get maybe
The usher says.
it's the same usher,
There you go, right there.
Because physical appearance is really important.
Wow.
And going back to why we run when it's going to rain, it's because it doesn't look good when you're wet in the street,
Oh.
So
Okay.
last thing, but there are many,
Yeah.
so you have to buy the book.
By the book.
So it's we borrow money from friends. It's very common to when you don't have money, so you just call a friend and then they lend you money, and doesn't involve any paperwork or interest. Just a friend thing that we do. I put this in the book because I had a friend from Europe. I don't want to mention the name of the country. And then he came to Rwanda. He was a friend to a Rwandan man. And then the Rwandan guy, at one point, he was like, "Hey, can I borrow some money from you? I need to stop something, And that friend from Europe was really disappointed because sometimes you have people in the street who ask money, and it was like, wait, you're acting like this, other people. And then the one friend was really disappointed that, how come you don't understand me? I thought you're a friend. So it's a common practice how we do it.
Okay.
But of course you have to be careful,
Still be
who
wise.
still be wise.
Are there online job boards and advertising websites for people to find employment here?
Yes, there are, and there are many, but there's one leading. It's called jobinrwanda.com.
Not with an S. Job in
Job
Rwanda.
in Rwanda, not
.com. Okay.
jobinrwanda.com.
Okay, I'll put that in the description.
Yes, so it has all its jobs, available in Rwanda.
Okay.
What is the job market like for expats here?
Like, you're looking for a job?
No, I'm just saying in general, for those who are
Looking.
coming here looking for employment,
Not starting businesses.
not starting
Okay.
businesses.
Not big, I would say, because of course there's a policy, in Rwanda that an organization should hire expert if only there's no Rwandan who qualify for that role.
Okay.
And I think there's a limited number of how many experts you could hire in your organization. You should have a good reason to why you're hiring expert.
Over Rwandan.
Over
Okay.
Rwandans.
Okay.
Yes. So they should have extra skills that they're bringing in.
Okay.
But I think there are numerous
Opportunity.
No. Digital.
Okay.
Nomad. That you could do and
International remote work
yeah.
online or what have you.
Yeah. But business wise, one is more open to people coming to do businesses here.
Okay.
So it only takes 6 hours to get your business certificate.
6 hours to
Six-
get your business certificate.
Yes, and
Those
just-
entrepreneurs out there. Okay.
So, and I would say that there's a lot of business opportunities, but I think maybe I will elaborate more on that, what to consider and some of the challenges that I see in most experts, facing.
Okay, when it comes to
when it comes to business here,
business.
yeah.
Okay. I am gonna turn a little bit. I'd like to know, because we're approaching April, and April 7th is a national holiday. Can you tell us a little about it and what we should expect, how we should comport ourselves, what the demeanor is in the country, what activities are allowed and not allowed, and tell us exactly what April 7th is and represents?
Good, yeah. So it's actually a whole week from the 7th April to 13th. But the day of, like when people don't work, it's the 7th.
Okay.
So that day, there'll be like activities at the village level. So every village in Rwanda, like people will convene, and then there'll be someone to talk, to give a kind of a speech, and then there'll be like time for testimonies. Yeah.
What's the holiday called? Is it?
It's the commemoration, week.
Okay.
The commemoration week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then at the national level, there is an opening, ceremony that happens at the Kigali Genocide Memorial.
Okay.
And the president, kind of opens it. And then before COVID, there was a walk. It's called a walk to remember. That was happened. It's from like the convention center to the stadium.
Okay.
But I don't know what's happening in this 29th commemoration there's a ministry in charge of that. It's called Minister of Unity and Rwandan Unity and Reconciliation. So they will kind of publish guidelines on what's happening in like 7 days.
Okay.
So and then after the 7th, there will be like meetings in different working spaces, like at least every government institutions will have a day to remember the people that lost their lives during the genocide. And yeah, so what to do as the next part, I think. Personally, what I saw, something that I didn't appreciate was when the time, because during that week there's no like a lot of work, and of course there's no like concert. You can't have a concert. There's no like this celebration.
Events.
Yes, no. And I've seen some experts leaving the country, maybe because they don't know what to do. But going back to our culture, when someone lost a family member, we don't do family thing only. It's open to everyone.
Okay.
And actually, the more I think the family will appreciate having more people come to their house.
Okay.
So that's the culture. So you want to be with people during that time.
Okay.
So going back to the Memorial Week, I think Rwandans love to be with the rest of the world and the people living here, expat, be in it together. So it's not good to see people flying out of the country when that time comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're here, what do you do? Attend the events. If there's a meeting happening, then attend one. Of course, there might not be. The meetings will be in Kenya, one of the local language, but you could find a friend to interpret for you, and the neighborhood will very much appreciate your presence because they see you care, Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to be part of, of the event. Yeah.
And embracing the
And
community, going through experiencing it together, or commemorating and memorializing the lost loved ones together in unification. Okay.
And maybe you could just watch on kind of on sometimes on Facebook there'll be events of like some organizations will organize events that is mainly for expats,
Okay.
and then they'll have a speaker to come.
That way we can understand.
That way you can understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hear it in our own language. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
How do you educate new residents on how to navigate the healthcare system here?
So I'm not trying to sell some clinics here, but we have public health care system, and then you have private. So the public, every province. So in the administrative structure is we have 4 provinces: the northern province, southern province, eastern province, western province, and the city of Kigali.
Okay.
And then we have districts, sector, cell, and village. So at every province level, we have a referral hospital,
Okay.
public big referral hospital that has like big doctors and
all the
equipment,
specialists and things.
yeah.
Okay.
And then you have district, they'll have some equipments and then and doctors. And then we have in sectors we have health centers. So maybe there will be like nurses, people who can practice, who can treat malaria, small
Okay.
diseases. And then when your case is hard, then they transfer you to
the district.
the district,
Referral.
and then the district, if it's not enough, then you province.
Okay.
Referral,
Okay. Didn't know that.
referral hospitals.
Okay.
And then coming back to the private, healthcare. So we have dental clinics, we have eye clinics, we have, and then we have some hospitals,
And some women's clinics, obstetrics
some
and
women,
gynecology. things like
clinics,
that.
yeah. And the public hospitals and health centers, because it uses public health insurance, it's called mutuelle de santé.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people, but they have good, like at least the referral, hospitals, they have good doctors, but to get there you really have to have a serious case, and sometimes we have like long appointments,
Long wait.
to
Okay.
wait.
Okay.
So then private, healthcare systems like clinics and hospitals, it's easy, but expensive.
Okay.
I think it's like
Possible.
everywhere else, like where.
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, you're right.
So you
It's
pay,
less expensive.
you can pay, cash. You can use health insurance, like private health insurance, or pay, cash. Yeah. So that's much quicker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me ask this. So like Frontier Diagnostic Center, are you familiar with that?
No.
Nyamirambo.
Okay. Deva Clinic. What would Deva Clinic be considered?
It's a private clinic.
It's a private clinic.
Okay. Okay.
In the sector.
That doesn't follow,
It doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
The
So
designation, it doesn't matter.
no,
because
the
it's
private, it can be anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Tell us about the education system in Rwanda. How specifically, people ask sometimes about enrolling. So, since you have your consultation and you can be a buddy, do you assist people with helping to get their children enrolled in school?
I only recommend schools and then I actually show them around, and then they decide which school they want to go, to.
Okay.
And of course which program they want to take. So they'll be like Montessori, Cambridge, and
So you actually will take them on school tours. You'll show them.
Yes,
around.
yeah. Like I'll be like, you want to see schools?
Mhm.
Like there's private schools that you want to. You can explore and then
Okay.
decide yourself.
Okay.
So going back to like the structure, the education system.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have private schools and then public schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then public schools we have, nursery, that's like 2 years and a half, 3 years to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So nursery, and then primary.
Mm-hmm.
Nursery is 3 years, primary 6 years,
Mhm.
and then secondary 6 years, and then university 4 years. Some of them are 3. Again, it depends on like what major you're doing.
Okay, all right. What academic track you're going on? Okay.
So that's private, and then public. The public primary schools,
Mm-hmm.
we have like a free education system. They just go to school,
Okay.
free.
Good.
But because it's free, then there's a lot of students, children, and then it kind of impacts the learning and the quality
Because
of
the
education.
ratio of students to teacher is so
Exactly,
large.
yeah. Mhm.
I heard one way to mitigate that is that they have half-day programs. Some students only go to school half a day.
But they still,
and they
you
go
find like schools like 50, 60 students
in a class.
in a class, one teacher.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
hard.
wow.
And
So would you say Rwanda needs teachers?
Rwandan teachers, yes, public schools,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the private schools, it's also the same kind of structure. Nursery,
Mm-hmm.
primary, secondary, and university.
Mm-hmm.
And then in private schools, I would say there are 2 kind of categories.
Mm-hmm.
There's private local,
Okay. Yeah.
and then private international.
Mm-hmm.
So private local,
Mm-hmm.
it's that's the good schools, but not teaching Rwandan curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have good teachers, and the size of the class is smaller. And then international schools like dogs, cakes,
I see.
Green Hills.
Green Hill. Mhm.
Those are really expensive. Yeah.
They are very
Mhm.
expensive. Okay. All right. How would you recommend a person learn Kinyarwanda? What's the best way to learn Kinyarwanda?
Good question. One, find a trained tutor,
Okay.
teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like as the proverb, the saying says, like the fact of having 5 fingers doesn't make you a pianist. So, like the fact of speaking Kinyarwanda doesn't make you a teacher. So you need to have some teaching. You need to find someone who has got good teaching skills.
Do you have connections? Do you know Kinyarwandan tutors?
Justin.
You.
Yeah.
But what if you're so busy, Justin? All these people gonna see the video, and you're gonna be booked for days, and we can't get Justin to answer the phone. Who else can we get to teach some Kinyarwanda? Because Justin's too busy.
To be honest, I know I told you I worked with the Peace Corps back in 2013 as a language and cross-cultural facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you still have some connections.
I still have some connections.
Okay.
I still have some good teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so you can refer
I
out
can
if
refer,
if you're too busy. Good. Okay. Tell us about.
And before I continue, find a good teacher. 2, make sure they're using competence-based teaching.
Okay.
Not
like their own just.
What I mean is after every class, at least you should go out with something that you
remember and can use and apply.
something that you can apply. Because I've seen so many teachers. You go there, they just give you a list of vocabulary, or at least some grammatical rules.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be in a context and well wrapped that you can actually use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we also have to be diligent. Have you heard of any safety concerns that any expats have brought up?
Not maybe small ones, like if you leave your car
Unattended
open,
and unlocked.
Yes, then everywhere else,
Yeah.
or
like everywhere.
leaving your camera or your laptop exposed in the car. That would be an invitation for someone to just break in, you know?
Okay.
So don't do that.
Don't be so naive. We know Rwanda is extremely safe, but
don't say, Rwanda is safe. Some burglary happened.
Still be cautious.
Yeah, so just be cautious.
Especially, I mean, and like you said, like anywhere in the world, especially when the inflation is high, things cost a lot of money these days, and there are low employment rates. So, you know, somebody might take something that they can sell, that crimes of necessity is what my mom would call them. You know, not to be malicious or vicious or mean, but my children have to eat kind of thing. So
exactly, yeah. And it's a big no to leave your laptop exposed in your car or your phone or your your phone, your laptop, your camera. It's a big
electronics.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even let my guard down, so that's a good reminder for me.
Put it in the trunk. You know, do you call it boot or trunk?
I remember somebody said boot, and I said, "What? Well, I don't have any boots. It's hot. What even?" And I said, "Oh, the trunk. Yes, the boot." I said,
yes,
"Okay, we call it trunk, but I know what a boot is now."
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay, put it in the boot.
Put it in the boot. And what was I going to say again?
As far as putting up electronics, and there may be crimes of necessity.
Yes. Another thing that like most people, you know, like thieves come to get in your car is your radio.
Really?
Your car radio. Yes.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
I think that it happened to me twice, I guess.
Really, just
yeah, they come just break it and take it
to sell it for the parts.
And so it's the radio or the window mechanism.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because that's easy to sell.
Oh.
So
are there that? Well, then I would think that there needs to be some accountability on the other end to make those crimes less vulnerable. So by that I mean, like in the States, there was a time when people were selling copper off of everything, electrical units, air conditioning units, and the people would come out, and they would go to work, come home, go in, sleep, come out the next day, and their car was disassembled from the bottom because the component was taken out because people wanted copper. So they started mandating that the manufacturers put like a orange X or yellow something so that if it were taken to be sold somewhere, the people would know that it was stolen. Yeah. And then they cracked down on businesses that were accepting stolen goods.
Sometimes it's hard here because we buy a lot of secondhand or used spares. So you will not know whether it's someone's car had an accident and then they took the parts.
That's
and
true.
then
Yes.
So we buy a lot of those kind of used spare parts from stores.
Yes.
So it's hard to tell whether someone stole it or
if it was legitimately obtained.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So you should always, if you have a radio in this car, put an alarm.
Oh, put an alarm on the car.
An alarm in the car.
Okay.
It's only $25. It will cost you around $35,000, like $35 to have your alarm installed in the car.
Okay. All right. So at least if something's going on, the noise will alert people that something's going on with your car. Okay. Tell us about some of the best social events and activities for expats to engage in. So that, because you talked about one mistake that you think expats make is that they stay in their expat bubble. They only, interact and do social events and gatherings with other expats. So how can we get out and about and do social activities and different calendar events that take place that we can engage in and make friends that are Rwandan?
So there are a couple of events that I could attend. One, have you heard of a Kigali night run?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
I've just never been able to participate, but I have. They just recently had it.
Yes, so Kigali night run. There's the Coffee Day.
Yes.
That happens every first and third Sunday of the month.
So, just so people will know, Car Free Day, was the purpose of that to be eco-friendly, to help reduce emissions, or is it just to get people walking and interacting with each other? Because it's from, what is it, from 10,
It's
8
from
to 10 a.m.?
8 to 10, 11
Okay.
Sunday.
Twice monthly?
Twice.
Okay.
In Kigali.
Okay.
I think it's just like to invite people to exercise.
Okay.
And fight the non-communicable diseases.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So blood pressure. So that's how it was kind of introduced.
That's a great initiative.
And two, of course, bring people together. Yeah.
So you're allowed to walk and bike, right?
Yes. Walk and bike. Yeah.
And if the police officer sees you driving during Car Free,
You can't drive. The roads will be blocked. The road,
barricaded. They are literally barricade the
blocked.
roads.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Kigali Night Run, the Car Free Day, the what else? There's a lot of marathons that happen.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And so you could attend like people's weddings.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of events, advertisements for particular things like Women's Day. There were several different Women's Day events supporting women-owned businesses. There was some like a plant-based gardening kind of event at Mundi Center, because they have a nursery there. And sometimes art galleries.
That's what I was going to say. Yes,
museums
and
events.
And restaurants will put up events.
Movie screenings.
Yeah, movie screenings. Yes. Oh. Yes.
Unfortunately, these 3 children of mine keep me home in the evening. We haven't been able to get to any of those particular things. I think we're going to go to a movie screening next Tuesday evening. I'd like to anyway, at Sheila's Honey. But yeah, museum events.
The movie screening.
You plan to go?
No, I was part of the people that was organizing the African.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's a good thing. But yeah, those are some good suggestions. There are things happening. Connect, get out there, find out about them, and go.
And
go
if
mingle.
you have a business, then there are like a lot of happy hours happening. In different co-working spaces. Like
that was the first time I had ever heard of that, and that's a great idea. They did one at a Cabo Cafe, and somewhere else they did a co-working space.
Yeah,
where you can just go use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so
network.
They are like now that like 2 big co-working spaces. There's like Noriskin.
Oh yeah,
it has
I've
more,
never been. Is that in town?
It's in town, and it has more than almost like 1,000 businesses.
More than 1,000?
I guess.
Is that the space in town where it's free Wi-Fi?
No, that's
what's that called?
It's close to the city, city hall. It's called Noriskin.
Okay. What is that German? What's the name? Where does it even come from?
Noriskin. I think the founder is from not like Nordic countries, either Norway
it sounds
or
like
Sweden.
it. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
It definitely sounds like it.
Yeah, but the managing directors of Rwandan and the team that manages the office.
So it's a big co-working space.
Big. And actually,
is it free Wi-Fi?
They have your subscription will have Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi.
Oh, you
subscribe? Not subscribe. Like you pay to use the space.
Okay.
So you pay, then you have a desk. You have.
That's cool.
Yeah, you have a desk. You have internet. You have coffee. You have coffee, and you have access to meeting rooms.
Yes, like conference rooms.
And then small meeting room. And then the reception. When someone comes to see you, then they'll talk to the reception, and then
they are booked in room number so and so.
Yeah.
Go ahead and down the hall and up 2 stairs,
exactly.
and then they'll be in suite
And then
B2.
it helps you.
I love it.
Be in that ecosystem.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Yeah.
Which just this juice for the brain.
I know. Yeah. Like you have all these people doing different things, and some of them will be your customers. Some of them will be like your people who like help you like reach other people.
Yeah. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Okay. what would you say are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about Rwanda?
Hard question. I think people and of course it's a history. When they think about Rwanda, they only think about genocide. But we are more than that. We are a progressing, country.
Yeah.
We are one of the. Kigali is, I believe, the cleanest city in Africa.
Yes, it is.
And we recently we were ranked among the top, I think, 5 countries safe where someone feels safe to travel alone.
Women walk at night or walk with their children in dusk and they feel
Yes.
safe and comfortable. Yes.
And
There's a strong police presence. You see policemen standing on the streets pretty much everywhere.
which makes it even safer.
Yeah, it makes you feel safe.
Yeah. So yes, it's our history, but we are not defined by that.
They're not
history.
defined by they put you in that box. So then on the opposite end of that, what do you think are some of Rwandans' biggest misconceptions about, I'm going to say specifically black expats, because that's the community that I'm in.
Okay.
All right, now, so as far as
So
then you can tell expats in general.
Every expat,
International people, they think
like
what?
whenever you come with American British accent, people will just think you're rich.
Yes, not the case.
Yes. And
No.
some people will just think you know everything, you're smart,
yeah.
So that's the kind of misconceptions. Going back to black expert specifically, sometimes like look at you look very wanton.
Do I?
Yes.
I'll take
And
that as
and people be like, why can't you speak in Rwanda?
Oh yeah, every time. Let me tell you, I promise you, every single time, 100% of the time, when I try to respectfully say I speak English, so they don't think I'm telling them speak English. I speak English, and they say English only.
Yes.
Every time, I'm like yes.
No
French.
That's only
No.
maybe in Kigali people will understand that there's growing
Yeah.
African American community, but some people will think you're this Rwandan who just want to like
I'm
They
so
like,
sorry. I wish.
all
I have for you is Muruwe.
yeah.
I'm a kuru.
See.
Murukoze.
Okay.
Sawa. That's about it.
So
oh yeah.
for specifically African American expat, they will think you just don't want to speak in Rwanda, but you're Rwandan pretending to be.
Oh, just.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. All right. So, do you assist expats in obtaining necessary visas and federal documentation to get established or come over? Is that part of something you do?
No,
Okay.
I just like point fingers like this is maybe the
Rainbow.gov.
visa. Yeah, this is the visa type I think you should apply for.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone could tell you, this is what I'm coming for. Like, they'd say, I'm not going to own a business. I'm a retiree. I plan to stay this long, blah, blah, blah. And you can kind of direct them. This would be the...
Yes,
most
this is
appropriate
kind of
one for you.
that would maybe
Okay.
what you could consider,
Okay.
Like for Americans, there's a kind of this 10-year visa
Yeah.
where if you that you could use, but you have to go out of the country every 6 months.
And you cannot work
You
for a
can
local
work,
Rwandan
of
company.
course.
You have to have a business.
You have to have a business, yeah.
So, yes. Okay, that's good.
So and if you're coming, then you can just come with this.
That's the beauty.
1 month in a visa.
Get the 30-day tourist visa.
And then and then register your company in 6 hours, and then apply for the business visa.
While you're here in the 30 days.
Yeah, which will be granted because
Where else are they doing that?
you already have a business.
Yes.
So
unless you
register.
don't. But then you still you have 30 days if you come in with ideas already.
Yeah.
Hopefully
and
you
actually,
have visited.
there's another type of visa that they give you, which is 3 months. They call it bridging visa.
Ah.
So you're like, I'm still trying to figure out what to do. Then they give you other 3 months.
I think we did that. We came, we got the 30-day, then we got a night. We extended it for a 90-day because we weren't quite sure what we wanted to do yet. Excellent, wonderful. Okay, what are some of the most exciting things to do and see in Rwanda? Like adventure stuff. You know, people ask me all the time, "Have you seen any elephants and tigers and lions?" Like you're thinking Kenya. You know, we can go see some gorillas, and there are other animals.
Yeah, we
have
have
some exciting things to do here.
But you're right. We have like a savannah park that has giraffe, zebra. It's
Is
called
that different than Akagera? Okay.
It's Akagera National Park, and then there's
National parks.
the gorilla trek, Virunga,
The
and
Hanging Bridge.
Sorry.
Hanging Bridge.
Yeah, the hanging bridge in Nyungwe Forest. The Canopy Walk.
Canopy Walk.
Canopy Walk
Yeah.
in the Nyungwe, and then there is those are kind of parks.
Okay.
And then we have like some fun things to do here in Kigali, like the Fazenda, like the horse riding and the zip lining.
Yes,
Uh,
I just recently found out about that. Fazenda.
Yeah,
I'll put that
Fazenda.
in the
Yeah.
description too.
Yeah. Oh, they should pay me for.
This is good stuff, isn't it? This should
Yeah.
take look. You're being the
Yeah.
tour guide.
Fazenda.
Fazenda. We need hashtag Fazenda. We're gonna need some commission.
Yeah.
for
So
advertising.
Fazenda, and then there's some beautiful, parks here in Kigali. Like, have you been to Nyandungu eco-friendly park?
Yes. Very early on. I want to say we were probably here only 4 or 5 weeks, and we went there. And you can rent the bikes
Yes.
very inexpensively. I think
Yeah.
it was like 30 cents to rent a bike.
Yeah, like very
300
yeah.
Rwandan francs, I
Yes,
believe.
not even $1. Less, half $1, I guess.
To go and all this greenery and fresh
Yeah.
air.
Mhm.
Yes, that it's nice.
Yeah. So there are like I know another company is called, I think, Rwanda Adventure, that does the bike in Kigali. So you can just hire a bike and then just
Oh,
they,
yes.
they have different
I
tracks.
see those in
you know.
town. Okay.
Yeah, and not the yellow ones.
Oh.
It's another company. They'll have a guide, and then the
Oh, so you can do a bicycle tour
yes, in Kigali
with a guide.
With a guide.
I didn't hear about that before.
Mm.
Okay.
Rwanda
Okay.
Adventure thing. Yeah, and then there's of course the art galleries. That you could visit and see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots and lots of art galleries.
Yes.
There's lots
And
of
then
art here.
there's like Nyamirambo women's Nyamirambo community tour.
Is that where they craft and do the baskets?
That's Aziz.
Okay, I've seen
the,
that.
the Aziz boutique.
Mhm.
They do Imigombo painting.
Uh-huh.
And then the Nyamirambo. Nyamirambo also they do
The weaving.
the weaving. Yes. And then they do the tour of the community.
Oh, they do.
Yes.
Well, do you have to drive out there? You drive and then they.
You drive up. I think you can go to the website. It's called Nyamirambo Women's Center.
Well, you write. Spell it for me.
Nyamirambo is Nyambo
Uh-huh.
Women's Center.
Okay, got it. All right.
And then up in the north, there are like a lot of cultural centers in the north in Musanze.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Red Rocks.
Somebody said Musanze smells like spring to them. They're like, it's just so lovely out there. It smells like spring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot less city. It's less urban. Is
The
that the case?
Musanze is a town. It can,
Mhm.
it has roads and houses and buildings,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just below the volcanoes.
Oh,
Yes,
I didn't know
it's
that.
beautiful there,
I've gotta go.
and it's
So
cooler.
many things to do. Cooler.
Not hot like Kigali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's getting hot in Kigali.
Mhm.
These last couple, but I like heat. I enjoy it. I feel good when I'm in the heat. Okay. So, we've covered so many things, and some of the questions I don't even have to ask you because we've talked about so much.
Mhm.
What would you suggest? How would you recommend? And I think you're probably going to say go back to get out, mingle, get to know other people. Do you have any specific tips on how to overcome the cultural shock and handle homesickness?
One, you have to be aware it's happening, and understand the curve, And actually,
you're right. It comes and
Yeah,
goes.
yeah,
Because it
yeah,
hits
yeah,
me on some days,
exactly,
and other
yeah.
days I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna buy my cabbage, and I'm gonna mingle with the people. And other days I'm like, I just can't get out of bed because.
And just be mindful that it's a culture shock, and it's good. Did I tell you about my cultural mentorship sessions? I think I talked about
A little bit, you did.
Yes, and you really have to understand the curve. Like, I have like 3 chairs, like there's a green chair, blue chair, and then a red chair.
Okay.
So the green chair is your comfort zone. Cultural comfort zone.
Okay.
And then the blue chair is your challenge zone. And then the red chair is your panic zone.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the green chair.
Yes.
Is a place where you feel comfortable. Maybe it's your family, your kids, your husband, your home, or it's the market, or it's the restaurant,
shopping.
Or
I'm gonna say those too.
Yeah.
Or the restaurant.
So it's jogging.
Shopping.
Yeah. So you really have to identify, like as you
your
go
happy
through
place,
the culture, your happy place. So that is the place where you feel comfortable. And then challenge zone. This is a zone where your learning happens, and you really have to push yourself.
Have to push yourself.
Maybe your your challenge zone could be your workplace, where it's getting tough to manage your staff, and your business not selling, and your customers, getting along with the customers, blah, 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 So it's your challenge zone. That's what the learning is happening. You see? Yeah.
Okay.
And then the panic zone, that's the place where you don't want to be.
No, or at least don't stay there long.
Yeah. No, you don't want
even want to go?
You don't want to go because
don't go there.
If you're not careful, the blue chair, the challenge chair, will slide you into the red, panic zone. So that's a place where there's no learning. You're freezing.
You shut down.
Yeah. You just want to leave the country.
Yeah.
You just want to go be with the family.
That's good.
You miss your neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't want to make
and life as normal things that
yes,
you're
just
happening the way that you're used to.
Yeah.
You're just ready to get back to what you knew. Even if sometimes people say I'd rather deal with the devil I know than to deal with the new devil.
Exactly. Yeah. So like what do you do when you feel like you're sitting in the panic?
We are sitting at the church of Reverend Dr. Justin. Please tell us, what do you do?
So like, don't go to the challenge.
Just
go to the green. Get some fresh air. Get some energy.
When you see yourself moving toward the red chair and panic zone, go to what makes you comfortable.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, but don't stay there long.
Because that's not where you're growing.
That's not where you're growing. Push yourself. Visit a Rwandan home.
Visit a Rwandan home?
Yes.
Y'all better, when they invite you over for some chapati, go and have some chapati.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah,
with the
be
environment.
uncomfortable. Stretch
and then
yourself.
You stretch yourself, So, and that's what I do with the my sessions. I'll be like, where do you feel like sitting?
Yeah.
Do you want, what's happening?
Great way to put it.
In that chair.
Are you in tune with yourself?
Yes.
Which chair are you in?
What's happening there?
Yeah.
What are you doing in that chair?
Yeah.
See? It should be very intentional.
You have a degree in counseling. You're just good at it. It's just innate.
I'm a certified
Yes.
cultural intelligence professional.
Say that again. You are a certified
cultural intelligence professional.
Yes.
That means
I can tell.
Okay, thank you.
I'm so glad you're in my house, sitting in my chair. Are you comfortable? Is this a green chair?
This is a very. I'm really happy.
Oh, me too, Justin.
But also a little bit of challenge chair. I'm learning. So.
Good. That's
and of course, speaking English. English is not my first language. So
you speak it very well.
Thank you.
I thought you may have gone to school in Europe or something.
No.
Really?
I tried to go to the US, they denied me a visa two times.
No. Oh,
Sad, but
I'm sorry.
it's not you.
You tried, which administration did you try under?
Actually, I was for work, and I was like, oh.
Maybe
So,
you and I will talk about that a little bit more out of the interview. I don't know anybody, but I can see.
I no longer know.
You're like, I'm
I don't
done.
have plans to go there soon.
Uh-huh.
It was for a purpose. I didn't want to go. I
Uh-huh.
just stay there.
Mhm.
So I think I talked about this because you said, "Have you been to
Yes.
the US?" No.
Oh.
But you know what?
What?
Going back to when I'm talking to my fellow Rwandans, because I do intercultural training, even for Rwandans.
Uh-huh.
So, like, one of the strategy of working on your cultural knowledge is traveling.
That'll
And-
stretch and challenge you.
Yes. But traveling can be costly. You don't have means to travel.
Yes.
But you
Yes.
can travel without moving.
How?
Airbnb, host people in your house.
Oh.
I've
yes.
hosted
The hosted.
people from Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one of the moments I love is when we're sitting on the same table.
Yes.
They're eating kaunga, the ugali,
Uh-huh.
and then we talk about life in Nepal.
That is so cool.
So
How can someone sign up to be a host home?
Of course, I have to do, so I do Airbnb, but I host people in my program, the homestays program.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't want to get me started on the homestay and the beauty of the
That's
homestay.
I know. I can
on
tell
this
you.
side
Like,
of the-
but what if somebody what if there's a viewer who wants to come and be a guest in the homestay program? And what if there's a viewer who lives here and says, I want to open my home up for that kind of experience?
Oh, yeah. I don't do with experts here to be host
Okay.
because we're learning the culture
Right.
in the wild. So,
That's true. I feel real silly.
so
Come in my house. I don't know that much.
if someone wants to do the homestays experience,
Yeah.
then go to my website,
Okay.
www.impactrwandarwanda.com, and then go to the homestays and cultural immersion program,
Okay.
and then you have what type of the
I'll
homestays
put
you
all
want
of
to
that
do,
in there.
and then you can fill out the form, and then there's some like
So you're gonna go to impactrwanda.com and then you're gonna look for the tab that says Homestays Program
yes.
and click on that, and then it'll drop down and you'll be able
And
to
then-
move forward with applying for
move
that.
forward
Okay,
with
great.
application, yes.
I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Now I can refer and recommend that because wisdom says, and lots of wise people who have YouTube channels, J Essence Journey. I have a friend Shayna who has a YouTube channel. It's not coming to mind now. I know she has Strategically Small Travel Plan Venture is her other one, and she was very big on you need to come, you need to stay for a good amount of time, not a quick visit, and really, really immerse yourself, get an understanding, see if this is really the place for you. So, and then people, of course, want to know, well, where should I stay? And I think it's better than doing an Airbnb because you're actually
Definitely,
interacting
yeah.
with.
But you know what?
But there's
Mine is more like educational because what we're doing is forge, friendship, promote, cultural and global, competency. So we really want to,
Okay.
like when you're staying in one home, they are learning from you.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So-
Vice versa.
And then you are learning from
each
them.
other.
So we want to see the learning happening. And one of the challenges that I see, like homestays, when they're designed as a tourism product, it's more focused on money transaction,
Okay.
and then
I
just
can understand. I see how that would be.
So
yeah, more of a
but what-
hospitality industry type thing.
yes,
Than it is
than
for
just like
educational
educational,
experience, an
like,
immersive education.
connect, with the people and develop your global empathy.
Which is critical.
Yes.
That's one of the blessings of raising children here.
Yeah. And when speaking global empathy, even like it's very important as host to also have that. I'll give you an example. like someone who has hosted, there's a family who hosted someone, and then it was a student, and then the student went back to the US, and then there was this kind of what's this, the wind, and how do you call it?
Like a tornado?
A tornado, and then destroyed stuff. And then the host family was really, really concerned because that's where,
they knew that that's where that person had come from. That's where
Yes.
they lived. That was their home. They were
so
worried about
and that's what we mean by having a global mindset.
yes.
So you
being aware of.
yeah, you're aware of what's happening, and you really care about the other places, not just your home or your country. So everything that things that are happening around the world, you're concerned. So
Genuinely care about it.
and you're concerned because there's this close relationship with someone who is there.
Yeah.
So that's how you build it.
That's true. And then you pay it forward, and your children experiencing the same thing, and then they that fire kind of gets passed on generationally and intergenerational, like in peer groups. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I've heard my children talking to their friends here about various things. Like, no, girl, you have no idea. This is how it is, kind of thing.
And some of the impact I've seen in the host families is it's small, but it's meaningful. Like seeing if you host, if a one home hosts a white person, then they stop seeing white people as white saviors.
They're just regular people. Just
They
like us.
see them as regular people, and that's really important.
That is really important.
And when they grow up and they meet one person, they won't be like superior, money, rich. They'll understand it's just a human being, So that it does a lot to the people.
On both ends.
On
I
both
see that.
ends.
That's really important. I'm glad that we got there because my last question is, how do you measure success for yourself in this industry, in this niche, in this particular space? And it sounds like basically what we were just talking about, when people are able to come away with a better, more clear, more genuine understanding that's gained in an authentic way about Rwandese people and the experience of being a Rwandan and what it means to live here in the country. But you tell me in your own words, how do you measure your success?
So, my success with the relocation body, it's someone is living in the country happy, and they live local.
Do you do follow-ups?
I try to maintain a relationship.
Okay.
That's the whole point of having a buddy.
Yeah.
At least you have a starting point to build community. I didn't mention that. That's really important.
Yes.
You have some, and I love inviting people in my house.
When am I coming?
Anytime.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so you can come eat Rwandan food, like dinner. You talk with my wife who doesn't speak English.
So that stretches me.
Yeah,
I have
stretches
to
you. Then
use
you
my
talk to my
Rwandan vocabulary.
children who speak English.
Okay.
And then from there, maybe you'll be lucky to meet a neighbor who visited, and then start forging that kind of connection. You know?
Build a community.
So you're happy, you are living local, you kind of shop in local markets. You don't just buy your furniture in this imported
furniture from expat companies.
Expat companies
businesses.
I don't want to mention the names.
These were made from our Gizozi.
Say?
Everything here you see, we were determined to buy local. We came to.
It's cheap, and you're giving business to local.
Right. I'm feeding somebody's family and paying their bills. That's right.
See?
That's
Yeah,
meaning.
so
That was meaning.
you're happy you're living
Everything
local.
you see here came from.
And more importantly,
market or-
you stay here longer. You don't leave.
That's a good litmus test. That's a good measuring stick.
Yeah, if you don't leave,
If
then
you don't leave, then
yes.
you've been successful in
Exactly.
transitioning
Exactly.
and helping to
Okay. So in other areas, sometimes it's hard because the skills. Sometimes you need like some time to measure,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the time I don't have that kind of
An outcome
opportunity
measurement
to
tool.
like how to measure. Or someone took this cultural awareness session, so how did it help? But at least I get some reviews. People
Yeah.
would write reviews and say, hey,
Yeah.
I found this really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I know it has helped them.
Maybe you can put a link on your website for former clients of yours to be able to click, like former clients, they click on it and do a maybe a 3-month follow-up survey, or you can have several different surveys, and that former client can click on that, open it up, and they can fill up that maybe a Google Doc survey or something like that, and it goes directly to you, so this anonymous or you can kind of see how
And another way I measure the impact at this is like referrals. Like
that's
like
that's
if I
okay.
get a customer from someone
else.
who did the trend,
Yes,
the
then
session,
obviously
then
it will.
I know it helped them.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So what is the proper Rwandan way to end this conversation?
Good. It's the proper.
Say,
Then you have to make a speech
Really?
to thank me.
Thank you so much. I do. Like I said, when you're coming in the door, I really do feel honored after looking at first seeing you on a couple of YouTube conversations and your insights and your astuteness to the nature of life in Rwanda and what it means to help people transition well, and the fact that it meant enough to you to do something about it. I honor you for that. I truly do. And I'm very honored, and I'm very grateful that you were able to take the time to come and talk to us about it. I think that there are going to be a lot of people that have been helped by the information that you shared today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Doing it the Rwandan way, I was really excited to see your text message, telling me you saw the book and you saw what I did, and then you invited me. I was really excited. And then I couldn't wait to come see you and see the family and actually have this interview. So thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome.
I look forward to future collaboration.
Yes. I hope that there will be. We'll definitely have more conversations after this.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
family.